Hey guys, I'm going to be using the simplified Bible quiz guidelines. We gave these out at the very first practice in the folders that we handed to the kids. I'm going to attach it in an email for you in case you don't have it anymore. But that is where you can find the rules, the simplified rules that all these things are based on. Okay, I am starting on page 5. That's where you have question and answer requirements. So if you want to follow along while you watch this video, that might be helpful. You don't have to, but I'm a visual learner, so if it was me, that's what I would do. I'm not going to try and cover all of these different introductory remarks in one video. I think shorter videos are a little bit better. So let's see how far we get, and I'll try and keep this about 5-6 minutes total for this first one. Okay, so the first introductory remark that you're going to see is two-part question. It could be a 3-part question, 4-part question, etc. Okay, that means that there are multiple distinct questions, and they require separate answers, but it's all from one verse. Only one verse. If you have to go to different verses to find the answer, then that's something different. We'll talk about later on. But a 2-part question. As an example, you can have a 2-part question from the section titled Jesus Clears the Temple Courts. Jesus scattered what and overturned what? So there's 2 questions. They each have their own answers. Jesus scattered what? What did he scatter? He scattered the coins of the money changers. And what did he overturn? He overturned their tables. So there's 2 questions. They each require a separate answer. But the important thing is that it's all in one verse. Remember, it has to be in one verse only. Otherwise, it becomes something else. A 2-part reference question. Don't worry about that right now, especially for those who are in the XP division and really even Silver division. You won't hear a reference question very much. Okay? So that is a 2-part question. The next introductory remark we'll talk about is a scripture text question. The kids are going to hear this a lot. This is kind of a nice one because it's a real easy one for us to teach the kids where to interrupt for the most part. Because every scripture text question, it's going to have the question, and then towards the end, or at the end of the question, it's going to have the word quote, and then it's going to be followed by words taken exactly from the scripture portion. So because every scripture text question follows that rule, we're able to tell the kids, hit after you hear the word quote, and it works really nicely. Okay, so the reason that happens, we have those words that are taken directly from the scripture portion, it's because it takes the quizzer to a certain part of the material and forces them to give their answer from there. It guides them and directs them where to go when they're looking for their answer. So scripture text questions are nice. If it's called a scripture text question and it doesn't have that word quote and then some words directly from the scripture immediately after it, that's invalid. It's not correct. Okay, that's what a scripture text question has to have. An example of a scripture text question would be a scripture text question from the section titled Jesus Calls Philip and Nathanael. How did Jesus answer Nathanael's question, quote, "How do you know me?" So you heard the word quote, and then the words, "How do you know me?" That was taken directly from the scripture, from John 1:48. Okay, so again, it's how did Jesus answer Nathanael's question, quote, "How do you know me?" That's a scripture text question. The kids will hear that a lot. An application question. These are fairly new. We didn't have these around when I quizzed. And these are questions that even if the kids have memorized all of the verses that they're assigned, they still probably won't really know what the answer to these is, which is kind of funny when you think about it. These application questions are meant to give some additional insight that wouldn't be found directly in the scripture. So those are being pulled from commentaries or from historical documents. So they're kind of neat. Sometimes they actually come straight from a junior Bible quiz question. So if your kids have done JBQ, that's kind of a bonus there. Application questions are the only questions we have that we know word for word what they are and what the answer is, because we're given those ahead of time. There are only ever 2 application questions in a match. There's not any more. We don't know which 2 application questions they're going to be, but we know that there's going to be 2 of them, and it could be at any point during the match. Okay, well, except for an XP. Those application questions, I believe, come from the first 12, the alternating ones, I think. At any rate, application questions, those are something that the coaches will usually hand out to the quizzers at a certain point. A lot of coaches will wait until the quizzers have memorized all of their material first, because that's priority for us. We want them to memorize the scripture before they do this extra stuff. So those are application questions. I don't have an example of one to give you, but if your kids don't already have those yet, they'll probably be coming home with them soon, okay? I think we're going to stop this video right here, and we'll pick up with some more introductory remarks in another video, okay?